Today we are going to start a new topic that is about work, energy and power. Let's start with the work. The definition in physics are slightly different from the daily life. In daily life, the meanings of the work are different as compared to the meaning of the work in physics. In physics, the work is said to be done if an object moves under the action or influence of a force. If I say I apply a force F, a constant force F on an object, and under the action of this force, due to the push of this force, it travels or it displays a distance s. So it moves under the action of the force through a distance s from between these 2 points. So in that case, we can, in physics, we say the work has been done. The work is said to be done on an object if it displays under the action of force through a distance, some distance s, or you can say d as well. You can use d as well. Work is given by, work done on the object is given by the product of the force applied and the distance moved under the action of that force. So work done So work done is equal to force into distance, distance moved by the object under the action of this force. So we say work done is equal to F into S. It is a scalar quantity. Because it doesn't has any direction. It is SI unit for work is joules. It is measured in joules. Work is measured in joules, and 1 joule is the work done when 1 Newton force displaces an object through a distance of 1 meter. So again, what is work in physics? When we say the work has done, when an object move under the action of a force. If we apply a force F on an object and it displaces to a distance S, then we say the work has been done. How we calculate the work done? That is by the product of the force applied and the distance moved under the action of this force. So work done is equal to F into S. SI unit for work is joules, and it is a scalar quantity. There are two conditions when we do apply force, but physics says you have not done any work. In case if I am carrying a book in my hand and moving horizontally, the physics says I have not done any work. Why it is so? The rule is the one in physics, the work is not done when the force applied is perpendicular to the direction of motion. While I'm carrying the book, to carry the weight of the book is acting downward. and I have to apply a force in the upward direction to lift that book. So the direction of the force applied on the book is upward direction, and I am moving horizontally. The direction of motion is forward. So the angle between the force applied and the direction of motion is 90 degrees. Because while carrying the book, to carry the book, I have to apply the force in the upward direction, and motion is horizontal. So the angle between the direction of the force applied and the motion is 90 degree. In such case, physics says you have not done any work. So work is not done when angle between the force applied and the motion, direction of motion is zero. Second case, if I push the wall, I am exerting force, but the wall does not move. So when we say work done is equal to F into S, we have F, but S is zero. There is no motion in the wall. So if I push the wall, force I'm applying, but the displacement is not there. So in that case, S is zero. So if I put S is equal to zero in this formula, the work done is zero. So in such case, if we are pushing an object and object does not move, then in physics, you have not done any work. In second case, if object does not move under the action of a force. So force is acting on the object, but object does not move. In that case, we say no work has been done. The unit of the work is joule, 1 joule. What does joule means? I know work is equal to F into S. The unit for the work is joule. For the force is 1 Newton, and for the displacement is 1 meter. It means if an object is displaced through a distance of 1 meter, if this distance is 1 meter, when 1 Newton force is applied, then work done is 1 joule. So 1 joule is defined as the work done when 1 Newton force is placed an object through a distance of 1 meter. The next physical quantity which we are going to discuss is energy. In everyday life, we deal with the different forms of energy: heat energy, light, electricity, chemical energy. So different forms of energy we deal with in everyday life. Energy in the lower classes, you have learned the definition, that is, it is ability to do work. Ability to do work is called energy. So this definition you have been studying since your sixth class. So it is not wrong entirely. So if you write the same definition, it will be accepted. But as we have seen in case of work, when there is no displacement, there is no work is done. Here we are saying energy is ability to do work. And in work, we say without displacement, no work is done. Light, we say light is energy. But when light falls on any object, the object doesn't move. If a chair is placed in a sunlight, so if sunlight shines on the chair does not move. Similarly, electricity is not producing any motion in any object. Heat is not producing any motion in any object, but still we say it is energy. Still we say it is energy. So it means the definition that we say ability to do work is not the correct definition. But at this level, it is accepted. So actual definition for energy is it is an agent which brings a change in the physical state of the matter. It is an agent which brings the change in the physical state of the matter. We know if we switch off the lights in the room, it will be dark. You cannot see any color. So when we turn on the light, we can see the shapes of the objects or the colors of the objects. So light brings a change in the physical state. The physical state is the appearance. The appearance of the object, its color or shape can be seen in the presence of light only. So secondly, if we know when the light shines or the sunlight shines on a certain object, its temperature increases. So temperature is a physical property. So physical change occurs in the object. Similarly, electricity, we can say can move the fan, but actually it is not moving the fan. It is producing magnetism in it. So it changes the physical states of the object. So energy is an agent which brings the change in the physical state of matter. It brings the change in physical state of matter. We have different forms of energy: light, heat, chemical energy, electrical, nuclear. There are so many forms of energy in everyday life we deal with, but there are two kinds of mechanical energies. Mechanical energy, first kind is kinetic. Other is potential. Let's talk about kinetic energy. It is the energy possessed by a body due to its motion. As we said, as we define the energy as the agent which can bring a change in the physical state of a matter. So if I say a moving object hits another moving object, or a ball, a stationary ball and a ball moving. So moving ball, when it hits the stationary ball, so it can bring the change in the state of the second ball. Either it moves forward, or either the first ball moves, bounce back. But there will be some change, there will be some work done. So this work is done because of the motion of this ball. If after hitting the second ball, it can bring change in the second ball. So this motion produces this change. That's why I say the motion, due to its motion, it has some sort of energy which can bring change in the state of the other object. So this energy is called kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its motion. So energy possessed by body due to its motion. It is given by kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, where m stands for the mass, v is speed of the object. Mass and speed both are physical quantities, are the scalar quantities. So kinetic energy is also a scalar quantity, and it is measured in joules. SI unit for kinetic energy is joules. As you can see from the equation, the kinetic energy depends on two physical quantities, mass and the speed of the object. So we can say kinetic energy is proportional to mass, and kinetic energy is also proportional to speed square. What does it mean? It means if an object, two objects moving with the same speed but had different mass, then second object with a greater mass possesses more kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is proportional to the mass of the object. If I consider two mass moving the same speed, then the heavier possesses more energy. So if it collides with some other object, it will bring more change in the second object. So it may move faster after first hits the second object. So if they are moving in the same speed, as you can consider from real everyday life, if a bicycle and a car are moving in the same speed, the bicycle, after hitting, the bicycle will make less damage as compared to the car if both are moving in the same speed, because the car has greater mass. So the object with a greater mass has greater kinetic energy. Similarly, kinetic energy also depends on the speed. If the speed of the objects, if the mass is same but speed is different, then the object moving faster can bring more change. It possesses more kinetic energy. So the kinetic energy depends on two factors, mass and the speed. Greater mass, object moving with having greater mass has greater kinetic energy, and a moving object having greater speed has greater kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is the energy possessed by body due to its motion. It is the energy possessed by body due to its motion. Its formula is half mv square, where m stands for the mass, v for the speed. Its unit is joules, and it depends on two factors, mass and velocity. The greater mass of a moving object means greater kinetic energy. Greater speed means greater kinetic energy. Second kind of mechanical energy is potential energy. It is the energy possessed by body due to its position or condition. Energy possessed by a body due to its position or condition. If I lift an object to lift the object, I need a force equal to weight of the object. To lift an object, I need a force equal to weight of the object, and the height is the displacement that this force is producing. So according to work, I know if I lift an object through a height h, I need to apply a force equal to the weight of the object. So the force applied is equal to weight, and the displacement that I have produced in this object while lifting is equal to the height of the object. So the work done in lifting the object through a height h is equal to mgh. So this work done is stored in this object as potential energy. So in the object, this energy is stored. Why? If we release it, it falls downward automatically without exerting any force. So it will return to its position because of the energy stored in it. We can say that this is actually, it falls actually due to the gravity. So actually it is falling due to the gravity, but we can say that if we don't consider the gravity, then potential energy is the energy possessed in it due to which it falls. And that potential energy is called gravitational potential energy. So work done in lifting the object through a height h is stored in it as a potential energy. And when we release it, it can move at its own without any external force. That's why we say something has been stored in it as energy, and that energy is equal to potential energy. Actually, it is gravitational potential energy. Similarly, if I stretch a spring, suppose if I stretch a spring this much by applying a force from this position to this position, I have stretched it. So while stretching, again, I have applied force and it produces a displacement S. Suppose an object is attached to it, and applying a force, I have displaced this object through this distance. So again, I have done some work. So force that I have applied is F and displacement is S. Now this work done is stored in the spring as elastic potential energy. When we release this object, it moves back to its position. So again, the potential energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its position or condition. In the first case, that was the energy due to position. In the second case, this is because of its condition. Because I have displaced it at a new position, it has some energy stored in the spring, which will pull it back to its position. And that energy is called potential energy, elastic potential energy. So potential energy formula is P is equal to mgh. It is okay. Pe is equal to mgh is the formula for potential energy, where m is the mass of the object, g is acceleration due to gravity or gravitational pull, and h is the height through which it is displaced. In second case, the energy stored in the spring is called elastic potential energy, and that is again due to its change in its position. So elastic potential energy is due to energy possessed by body due to its position. So two formulas which you have to apply. Unit for both or any energy is joules. So SI unit remains joules, and both these energies are scalar quantities. That's all for today. Thank you very much.